Time now for our Outstanding Bravery Award.
Tonight we're honouring 3 police officers who faced profound danger in their unwavering effort to protect us, the public. Now, I have to warn you that this film contains footage that some viewers may find distressing.
On an early morning in April last year in Hainault, East London, Marcus Monzo embarked on a horrific attack on innocent members of the public. He first drove directly into a pedestrian before attacking him with a large samurai sword.
There was more calls coming in about this incident. There was one saying there was a man running around with a large knife. Someone else mentioned a sword. So at this point we realised that this is really serious.
As PC Mechem-Whitfield and a colleague rushed to the scene, news came in that schoolboy Daniel Anjorin had also been stabbed.
I remember getting out of the car and my priority was to go over there and give first aid to Daniel. And I didn't have a clue that at that point the suspect was standing behind me. To be facing someone with a metre-long sword is petrifying. Drawn my pava spray, which is a synthetic pepper spray. He blinked it out and it was very, very scary to see it not work.
Drop the sword!
Also hit my emergency button on our radio.
Land close, more units, more units!
Just shouted, more units, land close.
Drop it down!
PC Yasmin Mechem-Whitfield was in the next vehicle to arrive. As Monzo fled, she and Cameron fearlessly chased him down an alleyway, while other officers attended to Daniel.
Yaz had a taser out, ready, and he has jumped out in front of Yaz with his sword above his head. I've seen him hit maybe 3 times.
Police officer stabbed! Yaz has been
The
stabbed!
severity of the injuries was just horrific. And I just remember thinking, I can't let him finish her off. I've put myself between Yaz and him, and I just shouted at him. Genuinely, in that moment, I thought, this is it. We're both going to die in this alleyway.
Stop!
For reasons unknown, the attacker ran away, leaving Cameron to help Yasmin. Next, Inspector Moloy Campbell decided to engage the attacker directly.
There was nothing more important in the world at that point than stopping Mr. Monzo. I was able to draw my baton and have it up at the ready. I remember thinking of my wife and stepdaughter because I knew that as I stepped forward, that might be the last decision that I make. He was slashing at me with a sword and the blade came down my baton, slicing open my hand. I knew that the bleed was catastrophic and so I had to withdraw.
Tourniquet! Tourniquet! Yeah, tourniquet for the governor, quick!
The attacker continued to terrorize the neighborhood.
Lock the doors!
But as more and more units arrived, officers were finally able to taser and detain him.
Whilst I was being treated by my colleagues, I heard the golden words, subject secure, which was music to my ears.
Casualties from the attack, including Yasmin, Moloy, and schoolboy Daniel, were rushed to hospital.
I wanted to see the families of the victims and make sure that they were being looked after. At the hospital was probably one of the most challenging days I've ever had.
14-year-old Daniel tragically died of his injuries that day.
He was a young man with his whole future ahead of him, an incredible, bright, intelligent young man from a fantastic family.
Yasmin and Moloy sustained life-changing injuries as a result of their bravery. This year, Marcus Monzo was sentenced to life imprisonment.
I think their actions on the day absolutely exemplified bravery. Incidents like this really remind me of how privileged we are to have these officers that are out there doing their absolute best to keep the public safe, and they would do it in the drop of a hat again tomorrow.
It was a tragic day that called for extraordinary bravery from the officers involved. Please welcome 2 of those officers, Inspector Moloy Campbell and PC Mechem-Whitfield.
We are, of course, also honouring this evening your third colleague, PC Yasmin Mechem-Whitfield, tonight. However, Yaz is still in the process of recovering from the effects of that day, and she's hoping to return to work soon. And we all wish Yasmin all of the very best. You said in the film that you knew from that very first call that you had a bad feeling about it. What was it?
Yeah, it's a Tuesday early shift for us is usually quite quiet. We usually decide on what we're having for breakfast or where we're going. So when the first call came in about a road traffic collision, it's not out of the ordinary for us. And then the first call came in about the stabbing, and the second call came in, and then there was multiple people mentioning this samurai sword. So, as I said in the tape, it was just our priority to get there as quickly as we could and safely as we could to tend to the injured people.
Moloy, all the training in the world could not prepare you for something like that. I mean, you know, bless him, Daniel died, as we heard. He tragically lost his life that day, but there was danger for so many more people out there at the time. I mean, how could you possibly prepare for that?
There's nothing in a manual which tells you how to get into a sword fight in the street. However, if you look back of years of police action, you're stepping into that danger on a daily basis. Cam is doing it, Yaz is doing it, many other officers are doing it. Yeah. And so you draw upon that experience, you draw upon that knowledge, and you simply do the best you can. That is policing in this country in a nutshell, and it's what happens each and every day.
And we're very grateful to all of you for that.
Thank you.
Monzo said that he had set out to maim and or kill as many people as possible, and obviously it was because of your bravery and Yaz's bravery that you managed to stop him doing that. But has this changed the way you react when a call comes in? Yeah,
definitely. I think for me now, I'm sort of thinking about what I'm going to more, whereas before it's quite easy as police officers. You're going to maybe 10, 11, 12 calls a day in your shift, and it's quite easy to sort of just get sucked into I'm just turning up to a call and dealing with it. But now it's, you know, I definitely think worst case scenario, sometimes you have to really think about what you're going to a lot more than I did before, definitely, yeah.
Moloy, a lot of people watching that will think you just have a baton and a taser. I mean, it did take how many police officers to get him onto the floor and arrest him?
Well, after Cameron, Yasmin and my interaction with Mr. Monzo, I think it took 3 taser rounds from 2 different officers, both on my team, who both acted with extreme professionalism and good aim to bring him down. And what sticks in my mind is they had one more shot between the 2 of them, and they knew that. And did they step away? No. They stepped forward with their taser up and pulled the trigger, and it was effective, and they did it.
Well, thank you both, and thank you, Yas. But joining us now to present your award is a renowned actor, not only celebrated for his powerful performances, but also for his passion for human rights. Please welcome the one and only Michael Sheen.
This is a tough one. What happened that day, the inexplicable loss of Daniel, is unbearable. It's unbearable. But the unimaginable horrors that happened that day in history will also be recorded with the extraordinary acts of courage of you and your colleagues that day. And, you know, that day will be, of course, remembered for what happened, but it should also be remembered for what didn't happen, for what you didn't allow to happen, for all the damage and destruction and grief and sadness and crying that we could have been doing and that we're not because of what you and your colleagues did. So you know, when you put aside the job and the uniform and the paycheck and all that, this was just human beings prepared to sacrifice their life for other human beings. And so, for that, there are no words. Well, I suppose there is. Courage. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Michael, thank you so much. And let's hear it one more time for Moloy and Campbell.
Thank you.